Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So, first video since Christmas, and just want to say first and foremost, I hope you all had a fantastic Christmas. I hope that your loved ones were good to you, if you got presents, or if you're young enough for Santa to be coming to you. I hope Santa come to you, and hope you're all watching this on some new device or something new that you got. So yeah, hopefully Christmas went well. We had a good Christmas, quite quiet, but yeah, lots of time with family, and yeah, my sister from Switzerland was home, which is always nice. Get to spend some time with her and her kids and her husband. So yeah, nice time had all around. But it's not over yet. We usually don't do that much between Christmas and New Year. We have a kind of a bit of a downtime, quiet time. We're just feeding the cattle and kind of the basics. But one of the things that did happen today was that we got a call to say a load of this byproduct feed that we feed the cattle was arriving. So we had to come out of semi-hibernation that we were having over the Christmas period just to put it in. So yeah, it arrived earlier on, got a tip in the yard. Kind of leaves a bit of a mess, especially after last week. I spent a day just going around washing the yard, all around the top end of the yard here, where the feeder is filled, and the yard was lovely and clean. So it's not ideal to have this load of stuff come and tipped and muck the whole thing up again. There's a little bit of, it's quite dry, but there is a bit of moistness in this feed. So it kind of leaves a little bit of a layer of stuff behind no matter what you do. And yeah, I will throw a couple of cubes of water on it and see, but it just leaves it a wee bit messy. So after washing the yard, it's not ideal. But on the other side of it, we were almost out of this byproduct, so it's good timing that it has arrived. And yeah, just in the nick of time. Yeah, filming this on actually got a new GoPro for Christmas, one of the new 11s. So I don't know whether the footage is any better or not. Usually it's some little bit better, but it can be hard to see sometimes. But I'm interested to see just how good it is, or if the sound is any better, or what the story is. So yeah, we'll see about that. But yeah, we'll get this rest of this pushed in, and I'll take a wee bit of footage now, just with the teleporter, just scooping it off and pushing in the last bit of it. Alright, so with that all pushed in and nicely tidied up, just threw a couple of IBC cubes of water on it, and I've washed it down fairly well once we let scrap up. Now I did spill a wee bit of silage there when I was filling the feed up, so hopefully I can do a bit of a tidy up job on that. But yeah, nice to have all that in and nicely piled up. The reason that the reason that I tip it over that side like I do rather than in the centre of the door is, I'm going to close this door over. Yeah, the reason I tip it over just a little bit to that side rather than in the centre of the door, if I tip it over in the centre of the door, when you go to push it in, you will get probably close to the half of the trailer load inside the door, but you've no control over it then. As you're pushing it in, you can't get it around the corner. It'll end up pushed back into the maize meal. It'll be pushed into the wheat on this side, and you're trying to scrape it all back out. You're out with a shovel, you're out with the brush, and it turns into a bigger job even than what it is here. So, and you still have a lot of stuff outside the door that you have to scrape back in, and as you're coming in and out, it's coming out on the wheels, and it's as much of a mess. The first couple of times I got it, I did tip it in the door and was doing it that way, but I just found that it was easier just to tip it here. It can actually be almost like just coming out into the doorway, but not blocking the doorway, but works well. So that is that, in and done and dusted. The other thing we're going to have a quick look at is we have an animal with a little bit of an issue. Nothing major, but I'll show you what it was, and yeah, just what we had to do to treat it. Alright, so as I mentioned, we had a wee bit of an issue with one of the cattle, actually one of our own weanlings. He has, over the last few days, developed, there was a little dot starting to appear on his eye, a little white dot, and we knew fairly quickly that it was pink eye. Seen it initially, and the next day it had gotten a little bit worse, so we knew we had to get him out, get him isolated away from the other weanlings in the pen, and we've had to treat him. So we've gotten some antibiotic treatment, and our vet said to put some blue spray in the eye, which we have done. So there's an ointment you can put in the eye. Actually, they say that the mastitis tubes for the cow, if you use them, we've actually used them in the past, and they work very well on it as well. So that's something that we might do. There might actually be some of them there, but we'll see how it goes on. Usually the antibiotic treatment is usually the main thing, and we'll see how he goes over the next day or so, or a couple of days, see if it starts to reduce down. He is a little fretty in there, because he's just isolated away from the rest of them. You can see we had this little this is the pen where we have to get the timbers, but we haven't got them. That was just before Christmas that I cleared all this out, and we hadn't got time to get the timbers yet, so we've had to use this dividing pallet that we have for another job, and he jumped that, so we had to put a ladder in. So it's very, very makeshift and make do, and but hopefully it works and he doesn't jump it again. So yeah, we just left in there from. We'll keep a tight eye on him, see how he gets on. He's not really sick with it, but it's not something that we want to spread, because seen it before. Remember we that's crow scarrow. We had calves outside one time that we're mealing them outside, and one of them got it outside, and it just took off from there, and before long the whole lot of them had it. So we had to take them back from where they were outside. It wasn't easy to treat them, so we had to take them back. They all had to be treated and put back out, and it did clear them up in fairness, but it's just the hassle of it. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on the rest of them. Hopefully it doesn't spread to any more of them, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, he'll have to settle himself in there for a few days. There is some of the cows here below these two horses, so he can see those, and that's why he jumped out. But anyway, so that's it for today's video. Not that much going on, it's around Christmas. It's kind of just a little bit of a video, just a few things we were doing today. I said I'd try and get the video out, try out the new camera. We'll see what the quality of the footage is like. Hopefully it's fairly good, and yeah. I'm going to do a little video maybe over the next few days of a couple of 100 hours on the new tractor. We haven't what, about for 3-4 months, I suppose you might say. A little bit of a review of it, what I think of it so far. Not that it hasn't been doing much for the last couple of months because the work's all finished up, but yeah, what I think of it, what I like about it, what I don't like about it, all that kind of stuff. So I might do that over the next few days, try and get that up maybe for New Year's Day. We'll see how I get on. So until then, if I don't, I'm not going to see you before New Year's Day, so have a great New Year, and yeah, we'll see you then.